Just for the record, the guy that rushed Donald Trump was white. Just want y'all to know that. Don't blame us for that. And then he's on CNN explaining why. White guy rushed Donald Trump, he gets CNN. Black guy rushed him, he'd get beat to no end. He'd be still getting beat on right now. We're going to interrogate him to find out what was going on there. He might have been working for a terrorist group. This dude already on sitting down having a conversation with CNN. I'm like, ain't this something? They had like 3-4 security guards take him out of there. He just tried to rush a candidate for presidency. And he on CNN. Relax. Like, ain't nothing to happen to me. I got a white card. Wow. I hear that. Now, the point of this video was to answer some of these questions that I get in the inbox before I start like taking a lot of them out. Yes, I saw a lot of different things this weekend from the DC comic world. A lot of the artists was there. I don't just go to these DC comic events. I actually read some of the comics, read a lot of them. So yes, to the guy that was asking me that. Let's scroll down to the next one. When you gonna get back to your boxing, man? You fell off. We had a big announcement on Showtime, and I could have sworn you were gonna say something about it, and you didn't even mention it. You're letting me down. You gotta get back on your boxing grind. This week you'll probably hear a lot more about the boxing from me, and the reason why is that we have a boxing show. The Robidoux Radio Show is a 3-hour boxing show on Wednesday nights. It's 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Wednesday, for 3 hours, boxing is spoken upon. I'm on there for at least over an hour talking about boxing. Chris Carson is the host of the show. And you got Dr. Uppercut. You got all of these guys that's on there talking about boxing. So I sound like I'm repeating myself over and over when I make the videos. So most of my attention goes to other things on the video. So then when the boxing video show come on, it's fresh. Because most of the people listen to my videos already. They already know when they come on the show, basically how I feel about the situation. So I just try to keep it a little suspenseful till the show is over. Then I might make a video after the show. But this week, Sean Craddock, his mother is, she's going to hospice. So, she might, about a week or two maybe. So he's going to be out of the loop for a while. So I'll be doing a lot more boxing and what I'm doing today. So all the other stuff that you love so much. When am I going to do this? Okay. You gotta. Who types a lot of profanity? What he's basically asking is the truth behind videos. I guess this is what he's trying to say. Like, I'm leaving some out, and there's a lot of stuff in the back. I gotta leave stuff out, dude. I got to. I would be sued 6 ways to Sunday for some of the stuff that's being said. They will find a way. Believe me, y'all have no idea about these videos I do. Y'all have no clue. My videos are hardly seen by anybody. You have to really search for my videos to get them. Well, DJ Academics and what's it, Vlad TV, you know, these guys, they are working with people that keep them at the top. So that's fine. You know, I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with them, but I was like, they're always near the tops. If mine get there, because I get there with no support, mine come 100% from the people. I don't have any firm who's boosting anything, and I don't even know where to begin. Like I told you, I'm on Windows XP. You hear this big fan blowing from this PC? If you knew how old this PC was, you'll be amazed it's still working. Yeah, it's time to get a new PC. It's time to get a new PC. I'm not that technically sound. So when somebody be like, that's Photoshop, I just crack up laughing because there's no way in heck I would even go to a Photoshop channel or even know how to work it. It's not something I do. And my own cousin D, my own cousin D from Eufaula, he actually seen one of my videos and said, "Cuz, you should do a podcast." Well, I can't do a podcast. Everyone's asking me to do a podcast. I turned down $158,000 a year to do a podcast. Do you know why I turned that down? Because I would be sued 6 ways to Sunday. You can't go and do a podcast show, and there's certain regulations then when you do these type of shows. You will be sued 6 ways to Sunday. Then you have a boss now. Your boss, the people who are paying you, will actually tell you how the show is going to be ran. And then you're not on your own clock. You got to be able to do the show right now. I'm like, I got to make time for Wednesday nights. There'll be a lot of stuff Wednesday going on that I'm getting ready to come up, and here comes the boxing show. So for 3 hours of my day, I got to make sure it's done because this show is going to come around. So yeah, the show is substantial. I could make a lot of money from a podcast show, from what they were telling me. But from the deal I would have got, it would have been very lucrative for me to take it. But it wasn't to last. It's like fool's gold. It's like, yeah, you come on and do the show, and next thing you know, either some rappers ticked off and want to have somebody come shoot me, or I'm sued 6 ways to Sunday. Either which way, I lose. Okay, let me see. I'll send this message to her. We've answered that. A lot of these questions repeat. I did an Anthony Joshua video. What do I think? I can't answer that. I can't. There's a lot of stuff I just can't put out there. I mean, I would love to tell you stories about how an artist named LL Cool J may or may not have done cocaine when he took the coke and made 2 L's and sniffed the L's up in Rick Rubin's house. back in January of '89 when he was working on Walking with a Panther and he was nailing Wendy. I mean, I could tell you that possibly happened. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't happen. But I can't make a video talking about that. Now, certain people hear that, they're going to get upset because they might think it's true, or they might say, hey, I know where that came from. And hey, things like this happen all the time in Hollywood. It's no big deal. When did I first get into hip-hop videos or music? Oh man, you gotta understand, hip-hop for us was different. We had house from Chicago. We had house music. We had like get the hoe, yeah, you got it, yeah, get the hoe. Yeah, like nobody remembers those songs. I mean, it was bad. But house music was, like that was our thing. And Chicago was real big on house music. And people who was transferring over to the hip hop, they hated house music. So it was always fights between the house-o-matics and anybody claiming hip hop. So it was fights everywhere. You disco duck, that's all they call them, ducks. And man, it'd be like a war going on everywhere, like fights. Nobody want to hear that hip hop garbage. Like they want to dance. It's time for the percolator. Time for the Percolator was the biggest house song of all time. Like, Pump Up the Volume, that became like an MTV, and that was like one of the first hip hop house songs that really went that far. Pump Up the Volume. But Time for the Percolator? Shh. It's time for the Percolator. It's time for the Percolator. Every chick was out there. And when Lil Jon came out with the bang bang skeet skeet, we've already heard that. That's a house song, an old house song. Bang 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 skeet skeet skeet, bang 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 skeet skeet skeet, bang 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 skeet skeet skeet. We heard these songs way before then. So when that became a hit song, I'm like, ain't that something? That was an old house song. An old house record from back in the day. But yeah, those were the days, I can do some hood story on them. Probably like 30. I'm just thinking about it. We'll go to the next question here. Why don't you do a video talking about why people wear and complain about Air Jordans, but don't complain about the prices of Gucci, Prada, and all these other companies? That's a good point, because this is why the emphasis is made, because a black man is at the helm of the Jordan brand. By Michael Jordan having his own branch, okay, Gucci and all of these are considered to be upper echelon type of clothing where the prices are not normally generated or promoted towards the urban poor markets. You know, they're not. They're upper echelon clothing lines. Like when Salvador Ferragamo's shoes were made, they weren't targeting the ethnic groups of low-income people. So their prices are always up there because that's where their market is. But when you see a rapper who's making some money and he want to go out and wear Gucci too, to show people, look, I got it. Look, I got money. I got Gucci on. That comes from an era of having nothing to having something, and you want to have the finer things in life. And that's why I try to explain to some people out here, because a lot of the people around here where I stayed have always never had to worry about money. So they don't understand what it's like to have your family member normally struggling to pay a bill or complaining about bills, like really complaining because, you know, this might be off for about a day or two, or, you know, they never went through those problems. You know, I was fortunate enough not to have a lot of those problems because we had a big family. You know, everybody was going to chip in. So it was like growing up, we were poor and didn't know it. Because our family didn't let us really go through that. Even though they were going through it and they knew what was going on, they didn't let the kids experience any of it. You know, Christmas is coming around, I got 30 gifts. You know, I'm like 30. It was way over the top. But I had it. Had big Christmases every year. So, but I knew the difference, you know, between poor and rich and or comfortable. So when you first get some money on your own, you feel like I'm empowered. You know, like, yes, I can make my own decisions. You're more happy about, I ain't got to borrow no money from anybody. Mom ain't got to buy me nothing. I could buy my own. So yeah, you might go crazy eventually for about a week or two. Some people go crazy and never come back. But on the other side, when you've never had to worry about bills, money, you take it for granted. And you only could see the way it reflects on you, the way your life reflects. So you don't understand why people would do such a thing. I don't understand why they do that. Like, why do they just waste money like that and just go buy? I was like, well, they never had anything. I'm like, if you never had anything and you finally got something, you might want to splurge on yourself. It's just a feeling of independence to finally be able to do something you want to do when you want to do it. I'm like, that's why I was like, sometimes they go over the top. They buy a lot of gold chains. They flourish money. They're happy that they finally, for some period of time, they got a little bit of joy. But it happens on the other side too. Even though they've never had any problem with money or paid bills, all their bills are paid. They have family they can lean on if they need money. They still brag. But they just do it differently. They'll come out, their house, they got to make sure that their house, their yard is better than the neighbor's yard. They're competing with cars. Oh, they just got a new Volvo thing too. I need a new car. They do that. They look and see what the neighbor's doing, and then they compete with the neighbors. They want to go on a vacation to compete against the neighbors or their friends so they could put pictures up of their vacation. And it was like, look, the Thompsons, they went to, oh, look, they put the pictures up already. Oh, look at that. We got to go. We got to go on a trip. You got to keep up with the Joneses, is how they put it. But it's okay when they do it. It's not wasteful. They'll buy cars, overpriced vehicles that they don't even need, just to try to show off. Buying, fixing up classic cars they know nothing about. They just want to have one because the other guy got one. They want to have a motorcycle, Harley Davidson, because the neighbor has one. They want to try to fix it from scratch just because the neighbor's doing it. These people out here are just the same way as the people in the hood. It's just different landscape. Let's go to another question here. This is talking about my pot belly. I was bloated Friday that day. I was retaining water. No. No, I was probably bloated that day. See, the camera, if I'm wearing certain shirts, like the shirt I'm wearing now, you would see that I'm not that big at all. It's just, actually, I think when I was playing basketball, I think I had just got through eating. And then plus that shirt is, when it gets near the waist for some point, it's like baggy down there, like a hockey jersey. So, I don't know. But I don't worry about it anyways. My belly could be 60 times, I could look like Santa Claus. I would care, man. I don't feel like I bother anybody else. But I'm not worried about that. All I do is share you guys my life on YouTube for pennies of the dollar. Somebody said something too in there about oh, you making videos like crazy now. You must be getting that YouTube money. That's pennies on the dollar. You're not going to be getting, that's not a lot compared to what's like really out there. I mean, it's decent, you know. I wouldn't frown on it. I mean, it pays for something, like pay a couple bills. But that's about it. If I could make a dream fight, what would it be? There's a lot of fights I would have loved to have seen happen that didn't happen. Aaron Pryor versus Sugar Ray Leonard. I would have loved to have seen that. I don't know. It's tons of them, man. I'll be here all night just going through. My brain's racing right now. So I don't want to have that much dead time. I'm sitting here thinking. Do I think Floyd Mayweather's coming back to boxing? Maybe next year. If somebody separates themselves and make themselves an opponent that's worthy. Let me see. Scroll. I need to stop hating against Gennady Golovkin. All I asked is, like, when are they gonna start testing him blood and urine? That's it. Other than that, I have no problems with the guy. I don't think he is as technically sound as Kovalev. But I remember talking about Gennady Golovkin when he first came in to the prominence, till he first came on HBO, before he got here. Triple G. I remember talking about Kovalev when he first got here, so I don't see what you're talking about there. Okay. That was just a compliment, no question. The breakup between Mad Circle, WC and DJ Aladdin, and the Mad Circle. That's one for the real West Coast. That ain't bad. Karceno, do you know any upcoming boxers that we need to look at? Like Titus Williams? Upcoming boxers. Wow. It's hard to say right now because some of them are already in the limelight. A lot of them are signed. Some of them are where you think they're good, but they've been sitting on the shelf for so long, you really haven't seen them too much. The guy Celiar, I think he's a great boxer. He's going to fight Abner Maris. That's going to be a very telling fight. As of right now, it's hard to say. It's just so many people out there, and you don't get to see them enough, or they don't get to fight enough. So I have to think on that one. I might do a video on upcoming fighters out there that's like improving every day. Like Badu Jack is improving every day. And I saw him fight. When I see him fighting, he's a champion now. So, you got Linnell Bellows. He's getting better every day, every fight. There's a lot of people out there. Yeah, I get a lot of requests, sir, about the Esham and Eminem thing. So, yeah, I get a lot of those. Yeah, I will do that one day. We need something on the Hot Boys, Turk and BG. Need some Houston beefs. We need some H-Town beef. Oh, wow. Guess I'm not doing enough H-Town, huh? I need your top 10 disc records of all time. Top 10 emotional songs. I don't know what you mean by emotional. I really don't. But I think we got out enough questions. Alright, I'm done. Let me get up here and actually do something.